This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, sweeps to his right, into the 20. He's in the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks a hard tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst breaking tackle after tackle, sweeps down the sideline. Throws off bodies like clothes after a marathon.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good!
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, throws the slant to the left side. There's Russell intercepted. The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
The San Francisco 49ers, we can do whatever we want.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. Guys, I am back. And once again, it's on, man. Guys, I can't wait to do this one, man. Reacting to the exit interviews, part 2. We went over a couple of them last show on Tuesday. And I'm here just to get back into the groove of things, guys. I am battling the sickness. And we are coming through this thing day by day, stronger each and every day, man. So your boy is feeling good. I'm going to update you guys on some health stuff. All right. For some of you guys that have been around for the journey, y'all have been with me through the ups and the downs, and then the downs again and backups and all the bad stuff. But got a little bit of a nice report for you guys. So scrolling across the bottom of the screen are going to be your instructions first and foremost. If it's your first time here on the YouTube page and you enjoy the channel, guys, please like the channel, like the video that you're watching, okay? And then subscribe, turn on your notifications after you subscribe to the channel, okay? I want to make sure that everybody knows where to go to get your 49ers content. It's going to be right here at Nothing But Niners. Now, I want to see my sweater some more. How do I do this? I want to zoom out a little bit. Oh. Hide that corner. That was that corner there. Hide that a little bit. We're going to go down a little bit. Okay. All right. That's looking good. Maybe I'll just get rid of the border at a certain point. All right. But yeah, so hit that like, turn on your notifications after you subscribe, guys, so you know exactly when we are going live, okay? Then give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We're going to start with Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Those handles are Nothing But 9, number 9, Nothing But 9, ERS. And then follow us over on Facebook and Twitch. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. We are live on all of those right now as we speak. What's up to the Twitchies? You see what I did there? It was a twitch. I twitched. You guys get it? I twitched. All right. So shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Let's see who we got in here so far. I see Ben in the building. Great one is in here. Says, what a do, Mike? Huh? All right. 49ers Josh, I see you out there. Callie says, we riding with you, bro. I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Jamar is in here. I see you, man. Daniel. All right. Carcast. That's a new one. Carcast podcast. Okay. Something I got to check out there. Jose Ruiz is in here. Chanel's in the building. Longtime supporter 916 is in the building. Raphael is in here too as well. Man, thank you all for your support. Man, let's drop a bomb on that one right there. Where's the bomb? Yeah. Keenan, Steven, Team Cali, Scarlett's in the building. That's what I'm talking about, man. So you guys know, like, I went through this phase where I was like stress eating and everything. The company I worked for was purchased by this company that I work for now, and they were like, "Yeah, Mike, you got a job for about 2 months, but we don't know what we're gonna do with you after that." So I started stress eating it, right? And I went from like 230 something, and I just kept ballooning up, guys. I got over 275. I was up to 278 was the highest that I remember being on, and my health was just crazy, right? Tanisha, what's going on? I see you in here. they had me with high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. Sugar levels were high. I was having heart palpitations, problems breathing. Man, it was bad. Like it was all fat and like messing up my throat and everything. So the doctor's like, yeah, you got to fix this. You got to fix that. You got to go on this. You got to go on that. They put me on all kinds of stuff. And guys, I went to my weigh-in. What day was my doctor's appointment? Monday. And I'm down to 209. I went from 278 to 209 in way less than a year, guys. Like, this has been an absolute incredible journey. I want to say that I started everything in July. I believe it was around July-ish. And so got knocked all the way down to 209. I'm not sure where I wanted to be, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep chucking. We're going to keep getting strong, you know what I'm saying? But now I got to get back into the gym because now I'm starting to feel weak. You know, now I'm starting to feel like the strength is kind of, you know, it's kind of like not where it's supposed to be, you know? I used to pride myself on being like one of the strongest, you know, like one of the strongest in the family. So now I got to make sure I get back in there, build up those muscles and things like that. I got to get everything going back the way it was supposed to be. What happened to my border? Who took the border off? Now my dog's nose is in the screen. They can see your big nose. Who took the border away? They don't want to hear you breathing in the mic either, Bear. All right, so let's get my border back, man. All right, there we go. We get the border back. I don't remember taking it off. All right, but yeah, so we're doing good. We're doing good, and I'm saying that to encourage you guys out there as well, man. One day at a time. I don't know if you guys are trying to lose weight, if you're trying to gain weight, 1 pound at a time. And then look for the results. Don't watch the numbers. Look for the results, man. It's been a heck of a journey. I should do jujitsu. Wow. I'm almost afraid to take those kind of self-defense classes and courses and martial arts things. I'm kind of obsessive. And I could see me like really, really diving into it. That would be like my midlife crisis, right? To be like, dude, like you're 40 years old. What are you doing right now? What are you trying to prove? Not that you can't do it. I know a couple people doing it. Shout out to my guy Sean. You know, you guys know Sean in here. He'll pop in, I'm sure, at some point. But I always respect people who go out there and just go after it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like I said, one day at a time, one step at a time. It starts with discipline. Start cutting off what time you start eating and drinking certain things. It's little stuff like that can make the biggest difference in the world. You know what I'm saying? And you can't worry about what other people are looking at and thinking when they look at you, right? Because they could be on day 5 of year 6, and you could be on day 1. You know, and you can't let that be your results. You know, everyone's in there for their own reasons. So make sure you guys are doing things for the right reasons. Okay. Now, I told you guys I was going to get back to some of these videos. We have a couple of videos that were going on. I'm going to go back to an offensive player. We only have a couple of defensive players left. We heard from Brock Purdy, and I told you guys that Christian McCaffrey was the next one that I wanted to hear from. So I'm going to go ahead and get that queued up here. Christian McCaffrey's seriousness looked pretty, I don't know what the word is I want to use. Like, thanks, babe. She said serious. Yeah. His seriousness looked serious. Thank you. See, there you go, Miss Debbie. She says, for sure, Mike. It's one day at a time. I've done it. Building back up now in the gym. Exactly. And that was one of the things I also was struggling with, Miss Debbie, was, you know, during the weight loss thing, going to the gym, and I know that I tend to bulk up as I work out. And I was feeling like a little discouraged trying to do it both ways. It was like going to the gym, I'm getting bigger and more cut, more defined. But I felt like the weight was falling off so much slower. So I just stopped with the gym and just focused on losing weight. And so that's kind of where I am now, doing more walking and things like that. But now the weight's down. My goal was to get down to 220. Like I said, I was 209 at my weigh-in on Monday. So now it's like, what do you do now? Do I start working out and work my way back up to 220? Do I go lower? Because I feel like I don't look too small at 209. So now it's like, all right, maybe 209 is not a bad number. and then I can start working out. I don't know. I got to figure that part out yet. But again, it's one day at a time. Get into a routine that you can stick with, one that doesn't make you feel like you have given up your favorite foods or your favorite, snacks or beverages or drinks or whatever it is, but something that's sustainable and maintainable, Wow. So, all right. Let's hear from not backwards hat Brock. That would be BHB, right? We're going to hear from Christian McCaffrey here. You guys let me know if this audio is working.
All that will be huge for me, so I'm excited, to get better, truly get better at my craft.
Christian, about 48 hours after the game, how have you been able to process your emotions and then seeing the guys here today? Obviously, there's some finality to this season. Just getting your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's still tough, still stings and hurts. I think that right now, just it's okay to feel like this, but eventually we're going to have to move on and get ready to go for next year.
How long does it take that process of moving on?
Good question. I have no idea.
How different is it from last year? Obviously, you had a disappointing last year too. How is that process going to be different, you think?
I don't know. I think you just take it one day at a time, just like anything. And, every day you just wake up, try to be the best version of yourself.
Do you have plans for this offseason?
No, right now, no. Yeah, just I think get away for a little bit, get your mind right, get your body right, and then get back to it.
When you think about that last offensive possession, what goes through your mind? Stall.
Talking about ours?
Yeah.
I think, I think there's so many things to look back on that game that you just want back. Obviously for me, I think just putting the ball on the ground is something I keep replaying in my head, just can't do it. There's a lot of different plays that we could have made and we didn't, and we fell up short, and I think it hurts, but that's life.
Considering this won't be the same.
Before he continues, I think he's done a good job of kind of, accepting it for what it was. Again, I didn't watch the post-game pressers. And if I did, I don't remember watching them. But I like this guy's mindset and the way he's wired. There's something about the way he's speaking right now that lets me know, all right, I've accepted it. Might not be happy with it. He might not be, he might not be content with it. I don't think any of them are. We had a goal, and we were through 60 minutes. It was 0-0. It literally doesn't come much closer than that. After 60 minutes, we had a 3-point lead in overtime. It doesn't come much closer than that. That's got to be one of the most gut-wrenching ways to lose a Super Bowl. Now, take it for what it's worth, they still lost. Him just saying, I wish I didn't, put the ball on the ground. There's a couple of plays I wish I had back, but, I don't know. I feel like he's kind of like, all right, it's in there. It's settled. I've accepted it. I'm ready to move on now.
Same roster next year. What did you enjoy most about this particular group this season?
I appreciated the bond. I appreciated how hard everyone works. I think this was a really special group in that sense, and a lot of guys put a lot on the line and played with a lot of, tough things going on, and did it with intensity, did it with urgency, and I'll always appreciate that. If somebody's got your back and the guy next to you is fighting for you and he's doing everything he can to play, and what they're going through, what they're battling through, I can always appreciate that, and I think this team had that. And I think the effort was there. Just, got to finish it at the end. But I'll always appreciate that about this team. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Hasn't watched the game film.
I don't know. I think, like I said, I'm just taking it one day at a time right now.
How's your health?
Good. Nope, feel great.
Does the experience of having played in the Super Bowl give you a different kind of hunger to get back there, or same as it always was?
Yeah, I think you're always hungry. That's the feeling you always want. I think when you get there, you now know what the deal is. But I think it definitely makes you more hungry. it definitely hurts worse.
Considering Brock came in with his arm issue going in, how did you just overall rate Brock's season and what he did from training camp to leading you guys to the Super Bowl and playing really well?
Yeah, I think what he did was historic and unbelievable, man. I mean, I think people forget, he was a rookie quarterback that was the last pick of the draft and came in, midway through his season and then had to get an elbow surgery in the offseason. So his real first year of starting in the NFL, he didn't throw a football till training camp to one of us. So it's pretty impressive what he managed to do, and then to be the MVP of our team was, pretty incredible. Lucky he's on our team.
Christian, your dad being on the stage so many times before, was there any advice that he gave you after the game or just words that stuck out?
My dad always gives me, great advice and always has the right things to say. I mean, I just appreciate that, he's there for me. I appreciate my whole family. I think in times of adversity, you find out, who's on your team. And I'm just so lucky that I got such a great family. And obviously my dad, having experienced a lot of different things, he knows what this is like. So I'm just appreciative of my support system.
Since the last couple of days.
We got George Kittle.
I don't know, my friends and family, my teammates.
All right, so Christian didn't give me, I guess, the passion that I was looking for, but I also understand that these are the interviews as they're leaving, right? I think I probably should have been looking at like the game reaction ones, and I still haven't looked at those. There are certain people that you definitely want to hear from in those moments. Right after the game, there's certain people that are just going to give you the good nuggets, the good notes. But I do want to go ahead and listen to what George Kittle has to say. And you feel so bad for the work that these guys put in all year long. You really, really feel for them. They bust their ass to get there. Christian McCaffrey goes out and does everything and anything you ask him to do. And he fumbles the ball. What was it, the opening possession? Right? We're driving down on a really, really successful opening drive, and he fumbles the ball. And you can say what you want. That didn't break him. He just kept going, He kept going. He didn't make any excuses. He ended up leading the team, 80 receiving yards, 80 rushing yards. And that's with me thinking that he didn't get enough touches. That was with me thinking that he didn't get enough touches. I hope Christian McCaffrey doesn't blame himself. I hope that he didn't feel like they tried to put him on some sort of timeout or rations because of the fumble. I hope that he realizes that he was our best weapon, our best choice for success in this game. I really, really sincerely hope that he knows that, because there wasn't much else anybody was going to be able to do. I'm not kidding. There wasn't much else anyone was going to be able to do in that situation. So a fumble is a fumble. You never want to see it. I'm not absolving him from any blame or anything like that, but that was not the reason we lost. It was not the reason we lost. So, yeah. Hopefully he's not beating himself up. Let's hear from George Kittle, who, again, I didn't hear from anybody 2 yards in the Super Bowl. He was the team's biggest cheerleader all season, all postseason, all pregame. Right? You see George on the sideline hyping everybody up. I mean, literally begging Chase Young for maximum effort, right? Like, this is what he was doing. And it was kind of, George Kittle in the back of a milk carton. Again, these guys don't throw the ball to themselves. They don't call their own plays. It's just, where'd he go? What happened? Let's see how he feels 2 days after.
That's about it, just friends and family, my teammates.
Since the last couple of days.
I don't know, my friends and family, my teammates. That's about it, just play a long season. It's not fun to, not achieve your goal at the end of the year. Very proud of, what we did, how we did it, all the guys on the team, staff, But, overall just disappointed, but not discouraged.
When did you hurt your shoulder?
I'm not really sure. Sometime in the second half, I would say. I think. Yeah, not in the first half. Sometime in the second half.
And you went back to the locker room.
Hmm?
What did you have done in the locker room?
I got a really good hug from my trainer, and I was good to go after that.
Was it separated?
No, I haven't gotten anything on it, so I have no idea. I just got back, so I have no idea.
George, when you were good.
How hard is it for you to separate like how great the season was and how successful it was, and then have the end be not ideal?
It's a great question. I would say
That's tough.
it takes time. I would say, it's okay to be upset, disappointed. That's totally fine. You just don't want to let that affect, other aspects of your life or let that, affect the rest of your year by any means. And, it takes time to accept it, absorb it, whatever the word is you want to use for it. And then you'll find a way to, channel it, use it, or, just be able to flush it and be able to move on and, attack the next stage.
Are there any plays or sequences or just things from this game that you kind of look back on and just go, man, if only this had happened, we would have won this game?
I do that with almost every football game. I would say, I haven't watched the tape yet. They actually just took my iPad, so I won't be able to watch it besides the TV version. But there were plenty of opportunities for us, and we didn't play our cleanest ball on offense. So I think I think everyone will be disappointed in that, but nothing off the top of my head.
George, last time you were here, you said, I will be back, I will be back. Is there anything you muttered to yourself this time around?
More to give, maybe. I don't know. No, when they scored, pretty sound. Not really much to react to. Just kind of walked off the field with teammates.
Considering that the roster will not be the same, it's impossible. How do you?
That's something to let sink in right there, guys. More to give. Listen to that.
They scored, pretty sound. Give, maybe.
Muttered to yourself this time around?
More to give, maybe. I don't know. No, when they scored, pretty sound. Not really much to react to. Just kind of walked off the field with teammates.
I feel like
the
he could have
will
been
not be
more.
the same.
Had the
It's
opportunity.
impossible. How do you remember this group? How will you think about them later on, and just what did you enjoy most about playing with these men?
What I enjoyed most, I really enjoyed, we won a lot of games. We worked really hard. Guys had great mindsets every single day. I would say also, there wasn't a single guy in the locker room that I didn't like. The linebackers got annoying sometimes, but that's just them, and I applaud them for that. So I thoroughly enjoyed everyone's friendship. I enjoyed sitting in the sauna with everybody and having conversations about random stuff. Just learning about people. I just thought generally we had a very, very high character team, and it was just fun to build relationships with everybody.
You mentioned the offense sputtered and didn't play its best. Why do you think that was? Without looking at the film, considering how good the offense was all year.
Like I said, I haven't seen the tape. I felt like we were in like 1st and 15 and 2nd and 15 a lot, and it's hard to stick to the run. If you're dealing with that type of stuff, that's just kind of what it felt like. I haven't watched anything, so I don't know if the second and third quarter weren't our prettiest forms of football. But, it just kind of felt like we were always just kind of playing a little bit behind the chains, and that's where we struggled at in other, times of the season.
You do have a lot of playmakers on offense, but is there a part of you that's disappointed that you didn't get the ball in your hands more than you did?
I love catching the ball. I love helping the team. I trust Kyle and, what the plays that he's calling. We have a lot of explosive guys. So, yeah, I love getting the football. If I don't, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to affect the game in other areas.
George, tell us what you thought of when you woke up Monday morning. What went through your head?
I was really hungry. I didn't go to bed till like 6, so I was hungry. I got some food with my wife. That's about it.
What did you say to her?
Good morning.
When you guys get back together in a few months here for the off-season program or training camp, how do you see this team? Do you see it as a big-time championship contender that a huge amount of the core is coming out?
I would say so. I feel like we have a lot of guys who are still on contract. Brock's still on his rookie deal. I think we have a lot of guys who play football at a very high level. And so, yeah, I have Nick Bosa coming back, right? Yeah, I think we can win a lot of football games.
George, how much of the Chiefs obviously had so much success and been there at the end? I know you guys always want to win your division first, but like, is there motivation of like this is going to be the team that we're probably going to have to get past at some point that'll kind of motivate you in the offseason?
I haven't thought about that at all. Sorry, I don't. Yeah, I don't really take a lot to get motivated. So like I'll be attacking it the way that I always do, because I love the game of football and I love putting myself out there on Sundays with my boys.
It was a solid question, right? Is this a team that you guys are going to have to get past at some point in order to, connect to where you want to get to, to win that Super Bowl? I don't look at it that way. We got to play whatever team's in front of us. I don't think about, oh, well, if we can't beat the Chiefs, then we're going to get there. That's not it. But these guys are very humbled, very humbled. I'd be curious. I think if they won, maybe a couple more smiles, but I think they'd be saying a lot of the same things. Like it was fun. We're the champs. But now we got to worry about next year. I wonder how different what they're saying will be. It was special for the guys that were in the locker room. The team won't be the same next year. I'm going to hold on to these memories forever with this team and how we did and what we did and blah. Right? It's kind of, do they hold on to that type of mentality? Do they let it change them? I just don't know. I don't know. We got another short one here. Then I'm going to play Fred Warner after this.
There's one play that comes to mind.
Debo wasn't on
towards the end where you thought, if I cut
Nah.
this out, block this.
So, I mean, the offense was so good all year.
There's one play that comes to mind towards the end where you thought, if I cut
Nah.
this out, block this.
Is there one play that comes to mind that you thought to yourself, I could have done more? He says,
So, I mean, the offense was so good all year. Didn't quite play as well in the Super Bowl. Like, is there any reason why?
I don't know.
Debo, you've unfortunately made some deep postseason runs
Why
here
show up?
and probably gotten used to kind of having to put it behind you. What's that process like for you?
Like right now, I mean, it's kind of hard to put it behind. I mean, I just deal with it day by day.
Do you take any solace in looking around the locker room and seeing that, all the key guys, most of the key guys are under contract and aren't going anywhere? You guys should be good again next season.
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal. And, me personally, knowing Kyle and John and Jed, they're going to do their best to get everybody back that we can. And, we just get ready for next season whenever it comes.
I don't really want to ask you to rank your disappointments, in your career, but at the same time, it seems like a lot of guys feel like this one has been really hard. Would you say that's kind of been the case for you too?
Yeah, this one real tough. This was a tough one.
You have asking you to rank your ultimate football disappointments, but it seems like the majority of the guys are kind of saying that this one hurts. Can you?
Oh, she got right back to the same damn question with someone else. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go to Fred Warner now. Debo. So I kind of get what Debo was kind of going through right there. It wasn't so much about I didn't want to be here. You ask me questions about the game, like I can change it. I can't change anything. It sucks. No, there's nothing I could have done more. But then when they ask him about questions going forward, that's when he opened up. So, okay. All right. I like that. I understand. I can understand the resentment, the sound, the way he's talking and all that. So I get it. All right. We got Fred Warner here. He's gonna speak a little bit longer than Debo did. Let's see what my man Fred has to say.
Was read option something that you expected Patrick Mahomes to use in that game? Had he done that in the past to that extent?
I mean, there was only one play that he ran read option. It was that one where he went for 20 yards or something like that. The 4th and 1 play was more of a run pass option where, they're kind of doing a sprint out and he just turns it into a run play himself. Like that's just kind of how he is. He can really just, make things happen, do certain things on a play where it may not have been a thing for other guys. So, but yeah, no, it's not like we had a plan for him, like a Lamar Jackson type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
this team, a lot of teams in NFL history that have seen tough title game losses, Super Bowl losses, we haven't heard from them after that. This team has, I think, already proven that you could bounce back from some of these scars. What is it outside of just the sheer talent on the football field and the building that you think has allowed this team to bounce back in the past and obviously you expect to bounce back moving forward?
Yeah, just guys that are, made of the right stuff, guys of high character. It's not easy. I'll say that. I stand up here talking about it as if like, oh, I guess Fred's good, but it stays with you all the way. Even back in 19 when we lost that one, that stays with you. It gets easier, but it's going to stay with you all the way through. And the thing that gives me hope is knowing how much it means to me, how much it means to his organization, how much it means to Kyle and the players and John, and like the things that make up a championship team. I know we have those things. You gotta act the way of a champion before you are a champion, and so I know it's not a thing of if, it's just when, and it sucks that it wasn't this time, because it should have been, but like I said, not if but when.
You actually watched the tape. A lot of guys said that they haven't yet.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm always eager to watch right away. Just because there's certain moments in the game where things are happening, you don't really know what exactly happened in the moment, but then you go back and watch, and you're like, okay, well, that's why that happened, or certain things. So I watched it.
Right. It seems like the general consensus from talking to guys who have been on the team for a while is that this, of all the deep postseason runs, had the most painful ending. Can you pinpoint why that is, if you agree?
I mean, I think they're all painful. I don't know if there's like a level of pain. I think the reason why people may be saying that is because of the fact that you see it right there in your hands. There's moments in that game where you're thinking you got them exactly where you want them, and then they take it from you. So that's why it hurts a little bit more.
Yeah.
You tell yourself leading up to it, like there's no other option but to win. And that's how you have to do it, because if you're going into it thinking, oh, there may be a chance we lose, you're probably going to lose. You got to go into it with everything you got in your heart. And so when it's ripped out of you, it's like you weren't prepared for it, because you were only thinking of one option the entire time. So, yeah, that's probably why it hurts.
And this wasn't like the NFC Championship game, against the Lions, where it's like, man, they got us in the first half. Like, now we got to go out there, lay it on the line. Do we believe that we can fight back at least? It's not that, right? This was a back and forth. We had a lead multiple times in this game. We had a lead in the fourth quarter. We had a lead in overtime, right? It's like, do we have a lead in the fourth quarter? No, we had a lead in the second half. But like we've got these leads. It feels different when you feel like this one was destiny. This one was ours. And we let it go. We let it slip away. I'm going to keep listening to what he's saying.
Have you spoken to Dre, and just how is he doing these last few days?
Yeah, I've spoken to him. Obviously, he's down, but he has a
talk about an impact player, man. Just go back and watch the first drive, man. Dre Greenlaw was on a mission in this game. His energy, his razor sharp focus. Losing Dre Greenlaw in this game was beyond massive. It was beyond massive. Watching how devastated Warner was on the sideline afterwards. So you could see the teammates saying, come on, we got to pick it up. We got to pick it up. Come on, he's got that energy. Dre Greenlaw was so good. So, his energy was so infectious that Patrick Mahomes on the sideline saying, they're beating us right now with energy. We got to pick it up. We got to match that intensity. We don't have it. It was Dre. It was Dre that was doing that. Not saying that the other guys didn't play with intensity or anything like that, but you could see the difference once he went down, man. That was tough. That was so
tough. I've spoken to him. Obviously, he's down, but he has a good mindset about it, and he's just eager to get the surgery done so he can get right into rehab and get back to work. I have no doubt in my mind he'll come back better than he was. He's made of the right stuff, and he'll be back.
Did you know immediately how he hurt himself when that was happening?
Yeah, no, I knew what it was right away, just because of the way it happened and his pain on the ground. I knew he's dealing with an Achilles for a while now, and so it wasn't a shock to me.
He had been dealing with an Achilles for a while. I didn't know that.
I thought it went well. I think people are obviously going to be critical just because of when you go from having the number one defense one year and then a guy comes in and you're not the number one defense again. It's like, oh, well, what happened? Well, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, and it was a hard job for him all along because he was coming into a system where it was something that he didn't run. He had to come and learn what we did, and we were the number one defense a year ago, and it's hard to sustain that type of play. But we still were a top defense in this league, and I think we played our best ball when it was needed.
Fred, when you watched the film, what did you pick up from it, or when you rewatched it?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't speak to how proud I was watching it. We had a plan because nobody gave us a chance in that game, especially defensively, to play against those guys. And when we were up 10-3 at half, and we said we had to go out and finish, and we had, like I said, we had opportunities at the end of the game, at the end of overtime, to go out there one last time and make that stop that we needed or take the ball away, and we just didn't do it. And I look at myself and where I could have made a play or two there. And so that's really what it came down to, but I can't speak to how proud I am of the guys.
To me, that's the part that probably hurts the most, right? It's like, how many more opportunities do you get to go out with the defense and say, all right, guys, just go get this stop for us, and that's the game. And then you let them do it, in their 2-minute drive. They tie it up. And then your offense comes out and your offense scores. And then you let them go out there and do it again. It's like if we could have just got one of those stops. And everything he said about Steve Wilks is what I said at the beginning of the season from the moment he was signed here. Like, guys, we're going to be disappointed no matter what he does. The only thing he could do to make people not feel good about his hire is have the number one defense. And even if he had the number one defense, they would have been comparing the stats. Like, the defense was so good last year. It was bound to take a step back, even if we had have kept D'Amico, even if somehow Salah was here, right? Like, just the numbers and the odds say that we weren't going to maintain that. We weren't going to sustain that level of, that level of play. And so he was kind of fighting an uphill battle. And then he was coming in here doing something that he didn't normally do. You heard Fred Warner say it right there. He was asked to play coach a system that he doesn't normally do, doesn't normally coach. I mean, what did we expect from him? I felt like he was a one-and-done hire. Why they did it, I still don't know. I can't figure it out. I'm not sure. I hope that he garnered some respect from his peers around the league. At the same time, when people look at you around the league, why would you accept that? What were you hoping to gain, benefit? Like, that was tough. So I have no idea how his peers are going to look at him. I have no idea how Steve Wilks' real peers are going to look at him, like the other veteran coordinators around the league. Are they saying, dude, like, that didn't make any sense? We don't know why you did it. Are they saying, oh, it's the Niners and they were in the Super Bowl, so we understand why you did it? I don't know how they're viewing him, honestly. I hope that he's holding his head with some dignity, some respect. Not saying that he was a scapegoat necessarily, because the faults are the faults. The defense is what it was, and he signed up to put his name on that. But I do hope that he feels that he put his best foot forward with what he was allowed to. I'll never judge him 100% and be like, oh, this guy sucks and his defense sucks and he should never get another shot, because, like I said, anybody who gets hired at a defensive coordinator position and doesn't bring any staff with him from anywhere, I don't feel like you got a real shot. I don't feel like you got a real opportunity. I feel like you were kind of just a middleman, a stopgap for something or someone else. So, yeah.
More guys situations. You've seen it now a couple times in these big games when Patrick gets it. You guys shut down for 3+ quarters last time and did a good job for most of this game, and then come down to fourth quarter and those drives. What is the difficulty of dealing with him in those situations?
Yeah, I mean, he's just he's a gamer. He's a gamer through and through. You know, he has that ability to use his legs when he needs to. He can make the off schedule throws, and he knows where the ball's supposed to go when you pressure him. So you can't just sit back and play, zone coverage because he can run the ball. You can't just blitz him because he'll get the ball where it needs to go. I have a lot of respect for him. He earned it.
Brandon got really emotional talking about this particular group of guys. What is it about this team that you really special?
Yeah, I mean, it was a special group. I think every year is a special group here. I don't know any different. I think the Niners I'm so grateful to have been drafted to an organization like this because I don't know any different. And we bring guys in who football means a lot to them, and we go through hard things throughout a season together, a 3-game losing streak where, people are like, oh, well, is it the same, or is it the same Niners that we thought they were? And so you got to come out of that. And, some of those games there in the postseason where you think all hope is lost and you come back and you win those moments. And it's like you go through such hard things throughout the season and then to not come up with the ultimate goal, it hurts. And, you build such special bonds with your teammates. So yeah, it sucks when, it's not going to be the same group next year.
Brandon, specifically, you pushed him. You talked about how you pushed him. How important is he to this team?
Yeah, I'm super proud of Brandon. His growth and development as a player, as a a teammate to the rest of the team has been so amazing to see. And I saw something in him early, and I knew that I wanted to see it brought out of him. So that's why I did push him, and that's why I was on him. And I'm not sitting here saying I made Brandon who he is by any means at all. Like Brandon made who Brandon is, and he's just getting started. That's the scary part for the league is that he has so much room for improvement on top of already being an All-Pro and Pro Bowl receiver. So yeah.
But given the success
like
that. Is there a sense of, I don't think a lot about AFC teams, that this is going to be the team that we're probably going to have to overcome at some point? And if so, how much will you think about what you can do to overcome that team in the coming months?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they've earned that right to be the team that teams have to look to that we got to knock them off. And I mean, I haven't really thought much about that yet. I'm always just thinking about where did we go wrong? Where could we have been better? In those crucial situations, those critical moments, because it's not really about how you start; it's about how you finish at the end. And yeah, you think you're prepared, but there's always another level of preparation there.
Right. So we got Kyle Juszczyk to finish up everything here. I like what Fred was saying at the end there. They've earned the right to be the team that we have to say we're probably going to have to stop them. But what do you do if you're the 49ers, right? The goal of any team is to win the division. That is your top priority, unless you have bigger aspirations, right? How cocky are you right now in this moment? If you're Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, you're going out to hire a defensive coordinator, and do you go out and look for somebody with experience in the AFC that can stop these two teams that you just can't stop, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens? Lamar Jackson is, 23-1 against NFC opponents. You got to figure out how to stop him. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, right? Do you guys just sit here and say, forget focusing on winning the division? We got to figure out how to stop those two teams over there. Because if we do that, if that is what they decide that they're going to do, I would say I understand it. But man, that's arrogant. Man, that is tough, right? I don't know that that's how you go about doing it and addressing the defensive need, the hole that you need to fill. I don't know. Do you say, let's go get a Bill Belichick? He's out there. If he wants to be had at a defensive coordinator position again, he's out there for the taking. I don't know many other exciting defenses waiting and saying, hey, Bill, come on and do it. Tony says, who says you can't do both? Well, I mean, you got to look at the offenses. I mean, the Chiefs and the Ravens, what offenses in the NFC West are looking like those? Where if you get a guy like Bill Belichick, he comes up with a defensive plan for each opponent. He just does things a little bit different than most people do. It's a little bit different. And I love the arrogance and the cockiness of a Pete Carroll-led Seahawk defense where it was, this is what we do, go out there and try to stop it. And for 3 years, nobody could stop it, right? I like that. I appreciated that. But at a certain point, you got to kick that defense up a notch. You got to find a way to get a little bit more out of that defense when it's time, you know? And so maybe that's what the Niners do this year. I don't know. We're going to listen to Kyle Juszczyk. We're going to get out of here. All right. Let's bring my man Juice up to the podium and see what he has to say here. All right.
Pinpoint like why this one is so much worse?
Yeah, I think it's because we know what an incredible opportunity we had at our hands, and feel like this is definitely the most talented group that we've ever had. And so, you feel like you squandered a good opportunity.
Just one thing that comes back to your mind late in the game, you think we've just done this, or if I had done that, maybe the outcome's different.
No, honestly not. Because there's so many things that happen in a football game that is never one thing. So I'm not going to give you a one specific thing that would have changed the outcome, because there's a million things. So I would just say in general, we could have played a lot better on offense. So that's really kind of my biggest focus, is I just feel like as a group, we didn't perform well.
Brock talked about Kansas City's defense being very sticky, playing man, etc. Yeah. Was that a big problem during that game?
They have a good defense that is very aggressive. They like to play their corners at the line of scrimmage. Their linebackers are downhill, and that can be an issue for a lot of teams. And I respect them as defense, and I think they're a very good defense. So I think that contributed in us not having our best game on offense, but that doesn't lower my expectations of what we should have done out there. I still think we should have scored a lot more points on them.
I know it's a little early to think about, but with pretty strong core of you guys returning.
Yeah.
Do you already get the feeling like we can run this back?
I always feel that way. I think we have just such a, like you said, an incredible core that I think every year we can run it back. But it's the hardest thing. I spoke about it with you guys last year after the NFC Championship. You want to snap your fingers and be back in the NFC Championship, and that's what I want to do right now. I want to snap my fingers and be back in the Super Bowl. But I know it's not how it works, and there's so much work that needs to be done in between that. And right now, my body, my mind is not ready to think about that. But I also know that it will be ready. This is my life. This is my career. This is what I do. At the end of any season, you're worn down, but your body always seems to know when it's time to turn it back on. And I know months from now, when we start practicing again, my body's going to know, all right, this is what we do. We get back into it. So it's a process, and right now I'm just at that process of just a little bit of grief, a little time away, and just focus on other things.
What's your philosophy on that? You're still at the top of your game, which you obviously are.
Yeah.
Would you step away at that point, or would you want to?
Yeah, no,
on a high, or
that's a great question, and anytime anyone's ever asked me, about retirement or anything like that, I always say I'm going to go until the wheels fall off, and I may do that. You just never know. You never know. It's you got to just reevaluate at the end of every season. But I'll definitely say, like, I am nowhere close to that point in my career.
So
I feel
weird.
fantastic.
Every single
Body feels
time.
like I'm still in my mid-20s, so I'm
I get
going
ready
to
to
continue
say,
to do this as long
"Juice
as I
can
can.
go."
Kyle, it seemed like you were dropping hints.
Just
at Super Bowl
reminded of
week
why
that, the end
he's
was
so
near
good.
a little bit.
I'm
No,
not
I
mad
really,
at his
I really
statements.
wasn't.
It's so
I just
weird.
think maybe
I
with,
don't know, man.
I'm not gonna say my age, with my experience, that I just feel like I have such a just a different perspective on how much this all means to me, and that I just don't take any of it for granted, and how hard it is to do what we've done, and all those sort of things. I just am a little more emotional about that stuff. So that, I didn't mean it as any hints that this was the last run by any means. Even if we won this game, I'm trying to win a couple more. So
I guess the overall theme is so many players go to the Super Bowl early in their career and never make it back. So
Yeah.
you kind of cherish each opportunity a little bit more.
exactly, I think that's a good word. Is I definitely cherish these opportunities a little bit more, and because I have that perspective on how hard it is to do.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for the 49ers players exit interviews. There's a couple comments in here I saw that I wanted to get to here. He says, hiring, David M was saying that they're going to hire from within. He says hiring from within is what got them Saleh and Ryans, but it didn't. It didn't. That's where Ryans came from, sure, but they got Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator from the Jaguars staff, the linebacking coach. Robert Saleh had been around the league for a while, but he was with the Jaguars for a couple of years before coming to the 49ers, started as the quality control coach and worked his way up through the rankings. Linebackers coach for the Jaguars. He started with the Seahawks, or the Texans maybe, then Seahawks, then Jaguars, and then to the Niners. Now as a head coach. Now Ryans was different though. Ryans has a whole different pedigree. He like as good as we thought Saleh was in his final 2 years here, Saleh made it very clear, I'm going to be working for D'Amico one day. This guy was bred for this. This guy came in as a rookie and was leading a team, a good team too, by the way, like a good defense. So it's not about right or wrong, but the Ryan thing, I see it and I get that. But sometimes you got to go out there and get some like experience from something. I'm okay if you want to try to stick with a system, right? But how much of a system are you really, really, really going to stick with? I mean, this team doesn't look anything like that Seahawks defense. This team, to me, doesn't look anything like that 2017, 18, 19, or even 20 defense with Robert Saleh. I don't see those. I don't see those things. So, I feel like they're just so different. You want to try to keep the 4-3, maybe? Cool. That's base situations and things like that. If you want to try to keep the wide 9, I could do without it, but that's fine. If that's what they want to stick with, cool. I think it's a little overrated, honestly. But they got to come up with something, and they got to do something. Not to say that I disagree that they're going to hire from within. It's very likely that they do that. But I just hope that they don't handcuff themselves to only thinking that way. Go out there and get what they honestly feel is going to be the best move for the team, a shot in the arm. This team needs something to be excited about. Give the faithful something to be excited about right now. Don't wait until free agency, right? Like, do something that's going to entice people to come during free agency. You go out there right now and you get the Brandon Staley. It's like, yeah, all right. Me personally. Okay, cool. Like, I see it. I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to be excited about it. I was against the whole Bill Belichick thing until Wayne and I did that show a couple of days ago. And now I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like fantasizing about it. I'm salivating. Like, people say, oh, he's so old. When's the last time he called the defense? He's been calling defenses. Go look at the last time the Patriots had a defensive coordinator. It's him. It's him. Like, he's very, very much involved with defensive game planning. And if there's one thing you can say that the Patriots had well good, respectable, like anything in any of their years, it was the defense. It was the defense. They always found ways to win low-scoring games, shootout games, didn't matter. But that defense always kept the offense in those games during Bill Belichick's tenure there. That's something that gets me excited. Now, we won't have that benefit because I don't see him doing a long, extensive run, as a 49ers defensive coordinator. But, that would get me excited. That would get some free agents out there saying, man, I got a chance to go play with Bill Belichick. Yeah, I might go do that. I might go and do that, So we'll see what happens, man. And not for nothing, I know he would only be coming in for defensive prowess if we were to hire Belichick, but Belichick cares about special teams. He values special teams as well. Kind of feel like that's something else that's going on undiscussed with the 49ers. And I'll be breaking all that kind of stuff down later on as the shows come next week. There might be some more shows coming later on this week too, so make sure you guys have your notifications turned on. I did want to say shout out to Matt Ariza, the young punter from Arizona that I wanted the Niners to draft a couple seasons ago. He was drafted by Buffalo, and then these allegations came out about him and some of his former college teammates, and it turns out that the entire thing was poppycock. And it kind of derailed his entire career. This kid has a phenomenal leg. He's in the NFL as a specialized punter, but he can also place kick. We saw what happened when we didn't have our young kicker in the game at certain times this year, and Jake Moody was out. We even saw Wisnowski attempt field goals and extra points, and it was ugly, right? In an emergency situation, a guy like Matt Ariza can do both. He can do both. So I think that's something that, he deserves another shot in the NFL, especially once the case was thrown out. The allegations were proved to be fruitless. So kudos to him. It sucks that he went to the Chiefs. It sucks that he went to the Chiefs, right? But I'm happy that the young man is getting another shot in the NFL. Good for him. Way to hold your head and way for your family to, stay supportive of you. I saw his thank you letter to them who stood by his side the entire time. But, guys, that's where we are. We lost the game. We lost the game. We didn't bury anybody. We didn't lose anybody. No careers were ended. I didn't hear about any retirement so far from anyone who didn't play in this game. So that's where we are, man. We lost the game, but we lived to fight another day. We lived to fight another down. We get to play one more snap. So we're going to have to chill out. All right. We're going to have to be good. And that's going to be the way it is, man. That's going to be the way it is. I want to thank you all for watching tonight, man. We're going to keep this one under an hour. I appreciate you all. You all were great. Be kind to each other, guys. All right. I like that we're arguing with each other about who's good on the team and who's not good, who's at fault and who's not at fault. I miss the sports banter. I miss the sports arguing because once we got it off of sports, it got really, really ugly out there in those streets. So that's going to do it for us, man. Again, thank you guys for your support. Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful. We'll talk soon. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, them nothing but Niners. Nothing but Niners.